Hey guys, this is KSP with Tape, and today you join me on the launch pad for the series finale of the Eeloo Base. Today, I'm making sure that my base actually works, and when I say series finale, this isn't over, it's just series 1 is over, because I'm working on a lot of other stuff in Kerbal Space Program, and I think Eeloo Base needs a little break, because I think it's kind of fizzled out a little bit, but I will be back fairly soon with it, and we'll be having a lot of fun. But anyway, today I'm testing out the transport system I set up, which is the little Eeloo shuttle which goes between Kerbal and Eeloo and stuff. And so what you just saw there was the first bit of the launch of what you see on screen now, which goes from the surface of Kerbin to the station around Kerbin, taking Kerbals to the shuttle, which you can see just below the moving craft right now, which will go out to Eeloo and has enough fuel. You'll see later. And then people will get into the craft on the Andromeda station around Eeloo and go to the surface of Eeloo. You'll see it all in the episode, and I just want to make sure it all works. And this is a very long episode because I go there and come back to make sure it all works, because I can't leave it not working. Oh, I thought that the video had stopped then, but it's just I forgot to cut the looking at the station for a long time out of the video. Anyway, so now it is time to rename the station. I'm going to call it KSS Rigel, because this has been called Station Habitation Probe for too long. Anyway, let's get Shaunery Kerman out. That's a freaking awesome name. I think he'll command the base on Eeloo for a while. Next we will get Phil Kerman out. Phil Kerman. If you haven't seen like British television, that'll make no sense. And now, who's next? Oh, shut down that engine and get the other guy out. This is at 4 times time accelerate, so I can't see the names. A lot of this is at 4 times time accelerate because I think I had 2.5 hours of recording on and a lot of gameplay. It took me quite a long time to do this. Quite a bit of last night, quite a bit of today, and this is about a 25-minute episode, I believe. So I do have a coffee. Anyway, that was the coffee. Anyway, this is the shuttle preparing its engines for the 2000 Delta V burn to get the orbit around the sun to where it needs to be to get to Eeloo, and then a very big injection burn. Now, what I didn't take into account is that, well, first off, I left that freaking shield of the docking port open for ages, but mainly, as you've seen now, Eeloo was very high in its orbit, which meant the first burn was a little bigger, and annoyingly, very annoyingly, the ascending node and descending node were quite low down near the sun, because if they're high up you can do the correction burn, which is about a 7-degree burn, because the ascending node of Kerbin relative to Eeloo is about 7-ish degrees, and if it's like out past Joule or out around Joule, you can do it for about 350 Delta V, but when it's around here, as you've seen now, it's about a 900 Delta V burn. But this is also the fine-tuned because I'm running very low on fuel. Yeah, and there are a lot of long burns, so I cut most of them down, or at least put them at time accelerate. I've left this one in because this is where I realise, oh my god, I have very little fuel, which gives me some interesting actual kind of almost gameplay later. So I start using the RCS, and in a little bit switch to only RCS, and just open the antenna there because, well, they don't know what's happening on Kerbin right now. I have brought quite a lot of RCS on this. Now, the problem was I designed this craft based on the mission I launched to Eeloo a while ago, like in the second episode, where it was just like an Apollo kind of craft, where yeah, it was just the kind of that where it took a lander, and I've just completely switched over to RCS there. But and that took about the same amount of fuel in this, but it was less heavy, and it had the fuel on the lander, and it was just, I don't know, this was an ill-judged mission. Just gonna finish my coffee because I'm going to be talking for a while. But anyway, I do most of this burn with RCS, leaving myself with very little because I need every scrap of fuel. Luckily I did do this RCS burn because later I'm very low on fuel, and we'll see if it makes it. Yes, we will. I mean, I don't know what the other 25 minutes would be about if it didn't, but you know, let's keep the illusion. Alright, now just fine-tuning, getting my close encounter, finishing off the burn with fuel, which was a ooh. Anyway, there's my encounter. So everything's good, and now one fine-tune later, which is now, well, it was, yeah, I had to bring it in, like, yeah, so that last sentence was mainly me just saying yes, but anyway, yeah, so that's about 40 okay above the surface. That's about where it needs to be. And then I can get into an orbit for about, what is that? Jeez, not finished with the new node. What is it? Come on, hurry up past me. I'm trying to commentate. Wow, I have awful mouse skills. Okay, about 900 Delta V will get me into an orbit of some kind. About 1200 will actually get me into a good one, or 1000 as you see now. And I've left that freaking, oh yeah, now I'm taking a screenshot. This might be the one on the video, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I left that shielded docking port open through the whole mission out to Eeloo. Could have had some serious micro-asteroid damage. Anyway, we must begin our burn slightly early for various reasons. Because reasons, don't question it. And we are running incredibly low on fuel, but we do have enough by my calculations. By my calculations of hindsight, knowing that I have done this. And it was actually quite a mercifully small burn. Finally, close a freaking docking port. Thank you, past me. Yeah. I've been very unmeticulous lately. It's like my rendezvous have been... It's because I haven't been doing that much, like, really quick rendezvousing. My rendezvous have gone, like, I used to be able to... If you watch my first episode of Project Juno, I just, like, or when I built the station in this series, I could just rendezvous so quickly and so perfectly. But now I've lost that a bit, so I've got to get back to that. But, well, I'll probably lose it again when because I'm doing my Rescale Kerbin series right now. The one right now is the Moon mission, going to the Moon in Rescale Kerbin. Go watch that, it will be awesome. Or is being awesome. This satellite just got to the Moon. Yeah. Anyway, as you saw there, the ship was very low on fuel. So now I'm going to send the Kethane miner out to... I just filled the main tank of the Kethane miner with as much fuel as it can take to go out to the Eeloo shuttle, give it a nice bit of fuel, and then land and do its Kethane stuff. But anyway, now we're at the Eeloo shuttle. There's a lot of cutting without fading because I didn't want to, like, absolutely fill it with crossfades. So I will make sure you know when stuff's happening. Oh, and yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I got this rendezvous. Yeah, this rendezvous pretty quickly. But as I was saying, my rendezvous will change very much when I start building a station in Rescale Kerbin, which is what I'll do after the moon missions, because that'll because you don't have much Delta V in the real world relative to, you don't have enough. Anyway, so I'm going to give all the fuel in the main tank to the Eeloo shuttle, and give it some monopropellant from two of the miners' tanks. And anyway, but the miner can't stay long; it must go. And I've decided to rename this to KM Thor because that sounds awesome. And this is a savior of things now, I guess. Close the docking ports. Yeah, gotta do that. Don't know. I thought it was probably a... I'm going to say it's a fitting name. Anyway, but it has things to do. It must mine Kethane because I use a lot of the fuel from the Kethane for this freaking shuttling people around. But anyway, well, this has got to land. But I've decided to do this because there have been some people on Eeloo for a very long time now, and they're probably missing Kerbin. But by the end of this, they will get to taste Kerbin's atmosphere, although I don't let them out of the catchall, so well, I recovered the craft, they're fine. Yeah, well, I'm glad I left that flag there. It makes it really easy to, well, makes it, you know, possible to actually land where you want without having to have the Kethane grid on. I'm not sure, is the Kethane grid on? No, it's not on the map. Maybe I've got it turned off, or maybe it's just, you know... Oh, and I really, yeah, I just took a screenshot there. I really love the look of that sunrise with the Kethane miner coming over Eeloo. I'm not sure how look it goods. Yeah, how look it goods in the video, but I got a screenshot and it might look good. I took so many screenshots this episode. I was like, I've got to get a really good screenshot. This is the series finale. I'm wondering what to do in series 2. That'll probably be more of the same but with better technology. I don't know. I want to make the base really pretty and stuff because really pretty, really manly and space-like more like. But yeah, it needs new stuff because it's still a bit. I mean, it's got the new cupola module which looks really nice, but everything else is a bit, you know, machinery-y. Yeah. Anyway, drop the drills and stop talking because I'm awful at talking. Thank God I'm a commentator of some description. Anyway, this guy hasn't been out of the cabin for a while, so he's going to take a run around, take a jump, take a fall in his face, and then screw him, let's go to the station. Anyway, now the Eeloo shuttle has been able to complete its rendezvous, obviously while the Keithane lander was landing, and that's why I left the footage out, not because I just really needed to not have a really long episode. But anyway, the Andromeda station keeps doing its annoying rotatey thing, so I have to keep it stable every time I do a freaking docking, which is annoying. And it's probably good that this ran out of fuel, because there's only 2 standard docking ports, so I can only have 2 of this type of crap docked with at a time, and then 2 little ones, and then maybe a really big one on the end of the big docking port. Anyway, I've got to get the people out of the Eeloo shuttle who were, the Kerbals even. Well, Kerbals are people. Anyway, they were in the lander when I sent it out there, and they're like, yeah, we're going to get to Eeloo. They're not going to go onto Eeloo. They're going to stay in orbit in the station for even longer. So I'm taking everyone out of the Eeloo shuttle and putting them into the lander, because the point of this was to show that I can take 3 Kerbals all the way from Kerbin to the surface of Eeloo simply. But yeah, that's what I'm proving. So those other guys have to stay in the station that isn't meant for Kerbals. It's just got a module just in case it needs it, which it does use now. Anyway, I'm just gonna. Oh, yeah, undock. I thought I was refueling. Apparently someone's playing Dota 2. I'm not sure if that's in the video or just on my screen. Anyway, let's deorbit and forget about that to the other base, the actual base, not just the mining fields. Not the minefields. I should make. Okay, apparently someone else is playing Ruse. Okay, now is that in the video? I don't think so. No, it faded off the... Yeah, okay, no, I think someone else is doing that. Okay, I was wondering if that's in the video. I was like, wait a minute, why does that... I don't remember that. But anyway, it's really not important. Don't know why I'm talking about that. I'm rambling. And I've left the freaking docking port covers open again. Oh my god, thank you, past me. Alright, let's start slowing down. And this landing goes surprisingly well. I mean, a little bit grasshoppery, but I always end up just kind of screwing up landings. Like, I very often smash things on the surface of planets. God, I hope I don't do that in the rescale Kerbin series. It's kind of like yeah, and I keep kind of adjusting my burning upwards and burning prograde and burning retrograde, just trying to land in the right place, because now I'm dropping too hard, so I burn upwards a bit and forwards, and you just kind of, yeah, it take a little bit more fuel than you need. So yeah, that's why that'd be really hard in a rescaled Kerbin, because you have a very little delta V budget. I'm going to keep mentioning that, because then it'll get it in your heads. It's like a product placement. I'm doing product placement right now, but just, not for Microsoft. Ha! I made a context joke that was 3 days late. Nailed it! Because I did make probably the same joke at some point in the Hotline Miami video, but I cut it out. Anyway, let's get the people out of the lander, because they've been in space for a while. And now they can stand there and yuck it up. Anyway, let's get this first guy out, and instead of running, flying. Because if I lived on a low-gravity planet and had a jetpack that worked like this, I would never walk anywhere. Until I, ran out of jet fuel, RCS fuel, and just failed at everything. Anyway, let's skip that. I skipped ahead and forgot to fade, so yeah, basically, everyone's been transferred into their respective cabins and spacecraft. And now it's time to warp forward to where the Andromeda station is, and take off at sunset and fly into the dark, because bad video timing. But I have to get this done on a schedule, because the transfer window for Kerbin is only about a year away, so we might miss that if we wait another day. Well, how long is a day on Eeloo, I wonder? I could measure that, or I could not measure that, because that sounds really boring. Anyway, that's near enough for an encounter, so let's just kill our relative velocity as much as possible, and basically burn straight at the Andromeda station. Oh no, I don't do my standard burning straight at the Andromeda station thing. Oh yes, I do. For a second I thought I wasn't just burning at this station. I was like, wait, what? I can't come in, not stupidly. And this is a little dark, but there's lights on the station of the spacecraft, so you'll be able to see again now, and no longer. But, you know, there'll be lights soon. Trust me. You can see the lights there, everything's fine. Yeah, Andromeda. Running out of things to talk about. This is a longer video than episode is what I was actually going to say, but longer video than usual is what I meant to say. But this is a pretty good year for space. I mean, just a few days ago there was the Rosetta woke up, the spacecraft, the probe going to the asteroid that'll drop a lander and things. It was the 10th anniversary of the first Mars rover, which is pretty cool. It's still running. There's going to be 5 satellite launches of science around Earth by NASA. There's going to be 14 SpaceX launches in 1 year. That's ridiculous. And the Orion test launch, which is awesome. If you don't know about the Orion spacecraft, check it out. It's awesome. It's going to go to deep space and take men to awesome places. And yeah, NASA are doing something again. So whenever anyone says, "Oh, NASA aren't doing anything," slap them in the face really hard, yell Orion, and run away. Don't explain it. Just slap them, yell Orion, run away. Don't question it. Anyway, that is done. We must leave now with our crew that we took from the surface of Eeloo. That may not have been brilliantly depicted in the video, but anyway, it's time to burn and go back to Kerbal just after we got here. But the spacecraft doesn't care. Yeah, you're damn right. Close the shield past me. I have a thing about that. But anyway, I've skipped that because that was a long burn. So now we're leaving. We're going away from Eeloo for the last time in this series, in series 1. Hope I left that cinematic bit in there where I drift away. Oh, and now I'm just really quickly fine-tuning the maneuver to get home, because it would be rubbish to be left in space forever, like most of the people on the Eeloo base. Anyway, goodbye, Eeloo. It's been wonderful for this series. I will see you next series, Eeloo. Yeah! Anyway, now it's time for the fine-tune maneuver. I think by now, editing me had just stopped crossfading. No, I can't put them in, because I'm doing this thing where, because I can't have 4x time accelerate in my, in Windows Movie Maker, because it hates Fraps, because Fraps has huge files, like, this was about 100 gig of footage. I had to make and edit the video, like actually encode it into a normal video. Now I'm gonna have to upload this to the YouTube editor to put my voice with it. So that'll be fun. Yeah. Anyway, we now have our encounter with Kerbal, which is good. I'm just going to bring the periaps down a little, because it's going to need to be there, because I'm planning to aerobrake, so I have plenty of fuel left over. Yeah, that's the problem with Eeloo, is when I got out there and had no fuel, I was like, oh god, why don't I pick a planet with an atmosphere? Yeah, like Eve, but Eve has a mean atmosphere. I was doing something on this my career mode save, where I sent this probe out to Eve, and one of the probes just orbited, and another one detached to land. And then I forgot that I put deadly reentry on when I built the craft, because I use deadly reentry now. I've used lots of stuff to make it more realistic. And then I lost most of the probe going into Eeloo, but not Eeloo, Eve. But I saved like quite a bit of it, and it was really fun, and I was impressed. Anyway, it's time to bring the periaps into the atmosphere, but there'll be a floating point error or something, because whenever you transfer from a planet, like interplanetary space to planetary space on Kerbal Space Program, your periaps changes slightly, because reasons. As you saw there, now I've got a moon encounter. It's like a code error. I think it's called a floating point error or something like that. Yeah, so just basically point like this way and burn. Maneuver nodes take too long. I just burn. It's easier like that. Anyway, I think this is all still at 4x time accelerate, because it would have been a hell of a long episode anyway, and it's already been 20 minutes. I'm already like clutching at straws for things to talk about. Anyway, it's time to burn more. Did it skip ahead to that bit? I don't know. I may have aerobraked more than once, because I cut in too lightly the first time. You have to go in quite deep to the atmosphere, or you don't slow down enough, because I'm going to be going like really fast. So yeah, so I just gotta... Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned that. That was pretty smooth. I could have just not mentioned that. But anyway, that 35 still isn't enough. 45. Oh, no, that wasn't smooth. That was the edit. Okay. Burning in at, like, 28. Oh, mad warping. Put my panels away, don't want to break them. Put the communicatron away, don't want to break that. Because I may have to reuse this shuttle. I'm thinking instead of launching another shuttle, I just launch a dockable little fuel tank that I put on top of the shuttle, and then everything will be fine. And this is in the dark, but it will be illuminated by fire! And that might be the, oh no, that was too dark for a good screenshot. I do a little bit of burning, then realise it's no point. This has been much fire, much melting, and thank God I left deadly re-entry off. Actually, funny thing, I built the little spacecraft to go to and from the Kerbal station with a deadly re-entry decoupler, so I turned deadly re-entry off because I don't use it in the series because, you know, it's really difficult. And then when I came back from, and had turned deadly re-entry off, it deleted the station. I was like, oh crap! So I had to put just the parts of deadly re-entry in the game, but not the plugin. So yeah. Anyway, fine-tuning and getting my intersect with the Rigel station's orbit, because need to go there. Anyway, I'll skip ahead out of that because you don't want to bother seeing that. That was boring, and now we're docked. So that's them there. So these guys, after ages on Eeloo, mainly sitting in their cabins, suspecting each other of thievery and such. Well, they don't really have any possessions out on Eeloo. They have their cabins. Everyone has their own cabin. I'm going to send more people out to change that, so they have to share their small living spaces. But all these guys will return to the planet Kerbal, and maybe one day back to Eeloo. They'll probably be the next crew, because I never bother checking the crew, so that'll be fun for them. This is pretty much out of fuel, so I have to use RCS for the Deorbit Burn. Yeah, that was all of the fuel there. Although this is a 4 times time accelerate. But anyway, let's do the burn with RCS. Well, it's not really burn, it's more of a propulse. To propulse myself. That's not the word, is it? What is it to propulsion yourself? Oh, and then I try it docking mode, but when I throttle up on docking mode, it burns the wrong thrusters. Not burns. We were trying to think of a word for that. Well, I was. You may have been also. Anyway, it's time to deorbit. Sunrise, I made sure I did the burn in the dark so that the end of the series is in the light. It should probably be more entertaining with my commentary for the last few minutes of this. Guess I might as well try for the last 2 minutes of this series. No, this has been a very difficult series, because, I mean, getting out to Eeloo is a lot of effort, but I will be back with it. And this will burn through the atmosphere. Not actually burning, because I left deadly re-entry off, pull the parachutes, and we'll land just off the coast of some random continent. Which is nice. I landed right next to the beach, so these guys can get out, swim over to the beach, and lie on the Kerbal shores while people come to rescue them. And now we're back into 1 times time accelerate for one of the very few times in the episode, because I thought I might as well have the nice landing kind of scene for the end of the series, because you know, nice and sedate after all the failing at fueling and the few explosions we've had. This has been a fun series. I've enjoyed it, but I have other things to do for now until I come back to this, which I will, and I keep saying because just in case. Yeah, but I'm going to be doing lots of stuff with Rescale Kerbal. Just loads of stuff. I'm working on stuff, and we'll be doing more stuff in the future. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you've enjoyed Series 1 of Eeloo Base, and I hope you will come back for Series 2. Yeah, this has been KSP with Tape. I'll see you next time.